It's alive. Hold on a second. Where are the guys? Oh my god.
You
I didn't
lost
up.
them.
I didn't lose them. It's my mouse.
Raging.
You lost
Oh,
our
right.
children.
I did not. You know what? I did an update on my computer. My mouse hates me now, and I don't know what the hell is going on. It's like I want to scroll down on a page, and it decides that it wants to go up. I'm like, no, it is not opposite day. So you've got a package reveal. I've got
I
to get out of here
do.
fairly soon
And that's why I'm
I've got to
trying to.
take my kid to work, and I think he's still sleeping. So
Oh, that's not cool.
yeah. Hey, Corinna. Hi. You know,
All right.
we should get our butts over to Haps too.
We
haven't
should.
done
Like,
that in a
and
hot
I'm so
minute.
curious to see how my new system works over there. It's what I
Yeah.
thought it was.
What do you have?
Okay. I have something that we're going to wash crickets down with.
Oh, do ya?
I do.
Because I've been staring at these for a while. Oh.
Oh, God, the glare is going to be too bad.
No, that's your grass. That's the grass soda.
That is the grass soda. Mowed and bottled in the USA.
I think that's going to be fine. I think we're going to be okay with that. And I guess that'll go really nice with cheddar cheese larvettes, right?
Right. No, we'll save this for the crickets because I'm going to wait because this is going to need to go in the bigger box I have for you.
Sure. Grass, soda, and crickets. That sounds like a wonderful combination.
Plus, this motherfucker has 52 carbohydrates in it.
Oh, shoot. That's going to be that has to be our cheat day then.
It's going to have to be. So it's going to have to wait a bit. So it'll be after your move. But I have 2 of them here.
Okay.
And
it didn't come in a 6-pack. It only came in
no, you have to buy the individual bottles.
That's crazy.
And yeah, I got mine too.
All right. Hers and hers. Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome and gross.
Grass soda. I don't know. You know, when I was younger, and we had the pastures around us, and in the backyard was like the really tall grass, and we would clip those and just kind of stick it in our mouth. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Huck Finn and all that.
Yeah, I was a country kid, but still, I never made a drink out of it. That's kind of weird. Although one time, you know those little wild cherries, the itty bitty ones? Yeah. I don't know if those grow in New York or Florida. But anyway, we had a neighbor who had one of those trees, and we used to pick those fucking berries, and we'd smash them fuckers up and strain them and make we called it black cherry Kool-Aid because we were kids and weren't creative. But anyway, one time we made some black cherry Kool-Aid, and we didn't know about fermentation.
Oh.
And so we kept it in the clubhouse in the heat and everything, and we were just fucking off. It was me and my brother, and this is like one of the few times we got in a shit ton of trouble when we were actually fucking innocent.
Wow.
And it probably sat quite a few days, and we decided we were going to drink that shit, and we did, and we were lit. We were freaking
because that natural fermentation. But you're lucky you didn't die from.
Oh, I puked.
Poisoning or something.
I puked and puked and puked, and it had a horrible taste when we were tasting it. But we were just like, stupid, because we're kids, man. Yeah, and so I got accused of stealing liquor and all kinds of shit because, growing up in my household, it was parents are going to jump to the absolute worst conclusion, which in some cases, yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, I probably got smacked for well, what, like when I was innocent, or if I took a spank for like my younger sister or something like that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I never got angry with my parents because I was just like, okay, well, that's like karma for shit that they didn't catch me doing.
See,
You
and
know?
yeah, I was a bad kid, but my parents weren't exactly great parents either.
So
Like they enjoyed. I swear to God, sometimes I think whipping your kid's ass was a sport in my house.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
But and I really think that is the reason why we were so fucking bad. Like, I'm not even kidding. They're gonna like beat the badness out of you. No, motherfucker, you made me worse.
I was like, oh, well, if you're going to beat me for something, I might as well go do it.
Yeah, because the older we got, the worse it got. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, I think one of the lessons that my father kind of taught me, and my father, it was not something that he did for sport. Okay. But looking back and being a parent myself, it was kind of unfair for him, because my mother was tired and she had the 4 kids running around and stuff like that. And we weren't easy. Um, but as soon as he came home, he didn't know what was going on in the household. And she'd be like, beat your child, And he'd be like, yeah, okay, you know? And it was, for me, that was not fair. And so I realized when I was a young parent that I would not do that to my partner. If there was a problem with the kid and I was there, I was going to handle it, which often made me the bad parent.
Oh, mine
But
will tell you that their dad's their favorite. Pretty much, I think all of them would say that at
yeah.
pretty much any point in time.
And I think my kids probably said that too. I don't remember, but I was just like, because I wasn't going to turn him into a bad guy when he wasn't dealing with the crap. It's like if he was dealing with the crap and then he told me to deal with it, no, I drew the line there, So in a way, yeah, I mean, I guess I was the bad one, but um it was something that my father had said a long time ago. I think there was an incident where it was Girl Scout camp, right? And I had my glasses. They were brand new. I was in the 3rd grade, and I only remember this because that was when I got my glasses for the first time. And I lost them at camp. And for like a month, I didn't tell them that I lost them, but I was falling behind in school and things like that. And so I kind of hid the fact that I didn't have it. And they never asked, like, where
are your glasses? Right.
They didn't really ask. But I was just like, oh, there, I don't need them right now, so it was kind of lying by omission. And when they found out, oh man, I got the beating of my life. I mean, it was just like for pretty much for every day that I didn't tell them.
Ooh.
I got a whack, and I had bruises all up and down my butt, and it was like summertime, and I was grounded, so I was upstairs in the bedroom, and and after I think it was like a 2-week grounding instead of like 3, I was allowed out. But he says, listen, if he had just told the truth, that wouldn't have happened, And so, like, not too long after that, there was an incident where I was in the shed, and I was trying to move a ladder. I was trying to get to something, and I picked up the ladder, and I was like a little girl, and this thing was heavy, and you swing it around, and it broke the light, the overhead light, right? And I was like, I'm going to get another beating. And I went over to my dad, and it was just like, Dad, I broke the light. And he was like, okay. I was like, oh, it was like a light bulb that went off. I associated that. It was like, okay, tell the truth, because if you lie, it's going to hurt in the long run.
And see, growing up in my household, we were raised to lie. Like, it was different because we were not allowed to talk about what happened in our home. So, like, as a child, you make up other shit because everybody else has something to talk about. So, like,
yeah, this parenting thing. It really
it's
sucks. I mean,
whack.
there's no book to do
you
it
can't
right.
win.
Right? You can't. And everything that I said, well, not everything. There were a lot of things that my parents did that I said I would never do, and I ended up doing. Like, my mother would come out of my mouth, and I'd be like, "Oh," right? I'm like, "Oh my God, I really went there when I said that I wouldn't." And sometimes it happens, right? But I mean, so I took some of the good things that I remember that they did, the things that helped me. I don't know, behave or just be acceptable to them. I don't know. That sounds weird. Um, Acceptable behavior, I guess. And um, and then I took some of the things that I didn't like, and I was like, okay, I'm not doing that, and purposefully kind of went through and made my way. I mean, my kids are old enough now. I've got two that are married. I've got one grandkid. My oldest is with us, and you know, they're old enough to take care of their own therapy. But I told them young. I'm like, hey, if you can't survive me, you're not going to survive in this world. So there will be sarcasm. There is going to be, consequences to your actions. There was one time where my middle one, he was acting up. His mouth was terrible. I mean, he was cussing me up and down, like, oh, you're talking to me like that. And every time he said something, I took a component out of his computer.
Ooh.
And he didn't like that. He's like, that's my computer. You're breaking it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, consequences. Boop. You want to keep talking? Keep talking. Keep talking.
Card, you little fucker.
Graphics card, the little battery that's in there, the drive. I mean, just the power source. Yeah, I was just taking it all out. I was like, oh. And he's like, well, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, taking the monitor out of the laptop too. Yeah, I can do that.
For me, it was hard because I had no idea. I knew that I couldn't be like my parents. Mm-hmm. So it was I had to take from different families interacting that I could remember that I thought were, the ideal families or whatever growing up, and some stuff from my grandfather, and just I don't know, because I didn't have that example.
Right.
I just didn't. And so I don't know. I could be totally fucking my kids up, or I could be doing something right.
If they survive, and once they're out of the nest, you did your job.
I love them.
Really all you can do.
And they know I love them most of the time, except for that youngest. Sometimes she's like, you don't even love me. You never loved me. Dad's my favorite. And
I've told my kids, I said, look, I will love you. I love you no matter what. All right. I don't care if there's a dead body in the trunk. I will love you. That doesn't mean I always like you. And guess what? You don't always have to like me either. And you don't have to tell me that you love me, because I know in my heart, I know, but you don't have to like me all the time either. And that's okay. That is okay.
Right.
I'm not going to be offended by that, because we all have our good and bad days, And that's just the way it is. Mike is like, damn, that's properly cruel. Were you talking about taking the pieces out of the computer? But I was able to put it back together. That was the thing. If I had taken it apart and didn't know what the hell I was doing, that would be like outright mean. And
right.
And I wasn't going to do that, but he was going to earn his pieces back. And that's what we did. So, and that was the other thing. It's like, spanking is kind of a big topic for a lot of people, right? I grew up, I was spanked, and I turned out okay. The one difference, though, the biggest difference, though, was if I smacked my kids on the butt, I really made sure that I was not out of control. I might have been angry, I might have been frustrated, but it wasn't like for every, just like whack, 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 whack. It's like, stop your crying, whack, whack, whack. It wasn't like that. It was just like whack. It smarts, don't do it again, you know, and maybe that little bit of association. But if there was one or two times in the time period that I had my kids and maybe they got spanked, you know, where I felt like I might have been like a little over the top, but I don't want to say abusive, you know, but I apologized to them later. I did apologize to them later, saying I was out of control, and that is not okay. But you know, for a smack and just saying, hey, that's the consequences of your actions. Don't do it again.
No, taking your hands to your children when you're angry escalates really quickly, because there were times my brother and I were kept home from school for days because of the fear of Child Protective Services being called in to investigate our household.
Yeah. So I mean, so for me, it was just like it had to be an appropriate for me. Again, you know, I'm not saying how you raise your kids. Don't care how you raise your kids.
As long as it depends, because if they're doing something that could endanger their own lives or endanger someone else, that's, to me, that's the only, like, that's where the line gets crossed. Oh, you gotta go?
Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, I've got about 1 minute. So
all right, so I guess we're
so Mike is saying the only slap oops, where is it?
Like
the only slap I ever got from my parents was to keep me from doing something that'd kill me. No need for physical punishment at all. Crimson Owl Comics says, I work in retail when not making comics. I can tell you parents who do and don't discipline their kids. You know, we learned very young, my siblings and I, that if we misbehaved in public, that there was punishment at home. So we learned to behave ourselves when we were in public. You know, and my parents would get compliments about how good their children
that drives me crazy. Sometimes people be like, your kids are so good, and I'm like,
what? Yeah, I'm like, why does everybody else have my good kids and I have my bad kids at home? Why is that? That is not fair.
My kids, especially, like, the youngest will go next door, and she's my wild one. She's part feral. She'll go next door, and this one over here is always like, she's so wonderful. She's so polite. All right, let's go.
I have to get going. Yep. All right, you guys. So sorry this was short, but I've got to get going. Gotta drive my son to work. Bye. See you tomorrow.